No one likes when we hit the table, but they do like when we reveal the NHL24 Team of the Year cards. We got the whole list right here. All the nominees. We're going to play a little guessing game at some point in this. But I'm just going to start right away. And we're going to start with the forwards. I want some, some serious reactions from you guys. Because this is it. This is like the short list from EA of like Team of the Year. And again, it's like video game basis, so keep that in mind. Got to be a fun card to play with as well. But
you're telling me that Ryan Reeves isn't going to get a card?
Ryan Reeves took Corwin's money, but will not get a card. Damn. Yeah.
Be fun to play with.
Parts of his game would be fun to play with. You're right. Here it is. I'm going to start. We have the men's and women's teams. We're going to start with the men's team, and I'm going to start with forwards. You guys ready?
Yep.
Brace yourself. Connor McDavid.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Didn't think he'd make it this year, but I'm happy to see that they put him in.
Good story. Nathan McKinnon.
Good story.
Leon Draisaitl. Matthew Tkachuk. David Pastrnak. Mikko Rantanen.
Ooh.
Good pronunciation.
Yep.
Nikita Kucherov. Mitch Marner. Jack Hughes. Sidney Crosby. Austin Matthews. Jason Robertson. Jack Eichel. Elias Pettersson. Tage Thompson. Alexander Ovechkin. Kirill Kaprizov. Braden Point. Tim Stützle. And finally, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Okay,
Ooh,
wow.
Nugent on there.
Okay, first off, we got to go for like snubs. Is there any name that you were expecting to hear and just didn't hear there?
I think if you're going to give a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins some love, and I know he racked up the points, but like you have to look at the circumstances of who he's playing with. And then I look at a guy like Clayton Keller in Arizona, who I think's had like a really underrated
Clayton Keller's the one
season.
name that you heard that list. And you're like, I got a ball with Clayton.
I'm saying if you're gonna put Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in there, why not give a guy like Clayton Keller, who's the face of his own team, who's racked up as well a ton of points. He's put together a pretty impressive 2023, and I think he's kind of elevated everyone's view of the Arizona Coyotes as well, because we kind of looked at them as like not a joke, but like not a team that was really contending, and this year they've picked up a lot of impressive wins, and they've been way more competitive than a lot of people hoped, and I think Clayton Keller's a big reason behind that.
I hear what you're saying, but I think I'm gonna say one that's even more egregious than that. For too long, they just focused on the smaller markets. You know what I mean? Like New York City does not get enough love.
I know where you're going with this.
And Artemi Panarin, but the actual point of that, like Panarin's got to be on that list. I get it. He had a bit of an off year and, ghosted a little bit in the playoffs.
He wasn't the only Ranger.
No, he wasn't. But either way, like he's been great this year. Like, and also he's just elite to play with. He's got to be on there.
I agree with that. I think when we looked it up, it was like 2023, January 1st till now, points per game leaders. Like he's in the top 15. You got to have him in there.
And Clayton Keller.
And Clayton Keller, apparently.
No one likes my Clayton Keller pick.
No, I don't mind it. I'm just not as. I was like, that was more of like I guess he could be. He could be.
I will say, what do you guys think of Ovi being in there? Because his
2023,
it's a legacy award for him. Because like Crosby's actually been good in 2023.
He's the Penguins' best player.
Ovi's goal total has not been very good in this calendar year, especially this season where he's just he's been not good.
Not even
just straight up not good.
Not even the Caps' best goal scorer.
No, yeah, that's
like
Dylan
wild.
Strome. Who would have thought?
Should Dylan Strome be in?
Probably no one on that team should probably be in. That's a legacy award thing.
That's a legacy.
That being said, it is a video game, and it's still fun to use him.
Still fun to use him, but he's not gonna get picked for the team of the year. Like, he's not getting the special card.
No. Okay, and that's it. No one else that you guys.
Maybe JT Miller. Like
he definitely could have
been.
done.
We're going with players that have just put up a ton of production. Like he's one of them for sure. But it could be that same conversation with Nuge of like he plays with players that aren't as good as McDavid and Leon too, and is just putting up insane numbers. So maybe he should just get a look at the very least. But I understand why he didn't. And Pettersson made it for forward. So
I think the Tim Stützle one is also like long-term trending. They're like he belongs on the list talent-wise, but like this season how it started probably wouldn't make the list. But also it's Tim Stützle. He'll probably belong on that list eventually. So.
Yeah, he had a great last year too, and I think
40 goals.
The way we expected him to build off of that, he hasn't clearly, and I mean the whole Sens team has been struggling. Yeah, he's someone that I think will continue to be there in the next however many years because he's that talented. But yeah, maybe he doesn't quite belong at the big boy table just yet.
Some of these cards are gonna be so OP, man. Like anytime Connor McDavid's on these, have you ever packed one of those?
Not a McDavid, but I got a 91 McKinnon the other day, and like that's the best card in the game right now, I think, or like the best current player card in the
Just
game.
meta wise.
Yeah, it's I've never played with a McDavid card. I'm big into Hut this year. I don't know about you guys, but I played a ton, so I'm excited to use these guys. My team is looking sweet. I got X Factor Cale Makar, which is unreal.
Well, we'll see if Kale's on the next list, which is our defenseman. Just kidding. Clearly, he's on.
I think he's gonna be a winner of it.
Let's get out of the way. Cale Makar, he's on the list. He's not even first, but I'm just gonna jump him up first on this list.
Wow.
Erik Karlsson, Luca's favorite player, Vince Dunn,
Love Vince Dunn,
Miro Heiskanen, Adam Fox, Brandon Montour, Quinn Hughes, Roman Yossi, Charlie McAvoy, Rasmus Dahlin, Josh Morrissey, poor one out for Jesse, and Dougie Hamilton.
No real like surprises. I feel like they pretty well nailed defensemen. Like there's no one I can think
Is
of
the
that
Dougie Hamilton one kind of
No love for the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, you got
Who'd you put? Petrangelo?
Petrangelo.
Theodore?
I mean, Jack Eichel was on there and for the forwards, and he won the cup and he had a great playoff. But if you just look at like regular season body of work, I don't think he was better than some of the guys who weren't there. And I just think that like if they're gonna value playoffs that much with the forward group, maybe give a little bit of love to the defenseman of the Golden Knights.
I like that actually. Theodore, I'd probably go Theodore.
All right, and the rest, I mean, like Quinn Hughes, like he's gonna be the most fun card to play with there.
Aside from Kale, yeah, he'll be the most fun.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone was doubting that Cale Makar in performance or being a cover athlete.
That probably helped a little bit. I feel like a couple guys maybe next year when we're talking about this, like Noah Dobson and Evan Bouchard are having great years for their teams, and like they're the offensive defenseman mold so far, so like could easily see them getting a card next year when this comes around. But it doesn't feel like there's anyone that really got snubbed from this. Like defensemen, I feel like they did a really good job.
I mean, this is just literally a list of the NHL's like top offensive and defensive. Well, not defensive defensemen, because that's it. They're never gonna put them on this list because, like, again, it's about fun to play with. Good luck getting on this list, Slavin.
Tough to be a defensive defenseman.
Yeah, score some goals. Hey, how about that? Going on to goalies. This one, a little more shocking.
Wow, we got some controversy.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Linus Ullmark, UC Saros,
Still waiting for the shock.
Ilya Sorokin, Igor Shesterkin, Connor Hellebuck, Alexander Gorgiev.
Really
thankful Corbin's not here because the Jake Ottinger admission, he would be just having a party with that.
Lit us up. I mean, I don't see Joseph Wall.
I don't see Samsonov there either.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Won't be seeing him.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're seeing Georgiev.
You might see him on the weekend in one of our games.
I mean, the way he's playing, he's more like the beer league goalie than Ottinger is.
Yeah,
but,
so eat that, Corwin. Let's not look at Wall's stats compared to Ottinger. That is not necessary.
He's played less games.
And we have a whole year.
Georgiev,
yeah, cool. Shouldn't be on there.
I don't think so. Like, he had a good season last year.
You paused for way too long because there's no way that Jeremy Swayman shouldn't be on this list first and foremost. And then there's no way that that's the guy who kept him off.
I know. Like, Swayman could have won the Vezina last year.
Yeah, and he's playing on track this year to once again like be in that category.
He's got the best stats in the last calendar year. Like, it's not even Ullmark, it's Swayman.
Like, this is such a much shorter list because, again, like, the forwards list is the longest because they don't go by, like, position. So I get it. The goalie one's always the shortest. It's a little bit tighter. Clearly, they don't want to have two people from the same team in this one. You got to. Like, that was a huge part of, like, what makes the Bruins so good. Because, both of their goalies belong on a list like this.
And that's a team that literally set the NHL record for wins in, I mean, not this current season, but this past season, which was a part of 2023.
And who gets credited for the wins?
The goalies.
Yeah. So,
Swayman.
Dumb stat overall to really look at, but for this, we'll use it.
It's like quarterback wins in football.
Or
but
pitcher wins.
At the same time, like, he's got the numbers. Like, it's not like he doesn't have the numbers and is just kind of like, oh, it's the team around him, and whenever he plays, he's
or just
an
use
elite
your
goaltender.
eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just, his rebound control's like crazy.
What about Aiden Hill?
Yeah, he could have been on this, like, legit. I saw you cheekily sliding in there, but, like, say it with your chest. So.
What about Aiden Hill?
What about Clayton Keller?
Exactly. He was like, this guy was like,
Stanley Cup champion, and
I thought you were gonna say Cole Caulfield or something.
No, I'm
wild.
gonna bring up Slavkovsky in a little bit, but
don't entirely know why. Love him in like post-game stuff. He just seems like a fun guy.
He does seem fun, yeah.
That is the ultimate backhanded compliment. I love him in post-game stuff.
I love him when he's not playing.
I didn't mean it that
not
way.
on the ice, absolutely love
I
the
honestly
guy.
didn't. That's us, man. Like, the only thing anyone
know,
likes about
I'm
us is just like how we speak. You know, I get it.
I'm joking.
It's not the first thing you say for an NHLer, but I mean it for him. Nice guy.
His last 10 games, he's actually been putting up pretty
He's
good
been
numbers.
heating
But
up.
anyways,
He's been heating up.
Put him on the list. Clayton Keller, you're done. Your other short list, you're off of that.
Put him on.
Slavkovsky, great post game.
Put him on the watch list for 2024.
We're still looking.
Anyways,
So-
yeah, I think Aiden Hill could be. I think Aiden Hill could be on the list.
Aiden
Hill
Hill belongs
deserves
on
to
this
be.
list.
Yeah, they're again the best team in the West, arguably, and he's been a big reason. I feel like everyone kind of doubted their goaltending going into the season, and he's proven that he's pretty good.
And Sorokin belongs on this, but it's like, if anyone's like, hey, you better watch your seat from like this year's performances, you watch your seat.
Better watch it, buddy.
Jake Ottinger's coming.
Maybe, hopefully.
No belief in Jake Ottinger anymore.
I no believe. I'm just, tempering expectations for now. That's the whole list. Should we go ahead and make our own team right now?
Let's do
who is it? Are we going off of who we think belongs there or who we think they're going to go for?
I think it should be who we think
Okay.
should be.
Okay. So Clayton Keller can't be said by you. So you got to say something else.
Damn.
So 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, 1 goal.
Yes. And this is going to be really hard because there's like a lot of centers just in here, and we can play people out of position, which means we're gonna have to like get rid of like an actually great winger. So Connor McDavid clearly locked.
Yeah,
up
like
the middle.
I was gonna say forward's so tough because I feel like McDavid and McKinnon are
Kinda
kind of
just have to
locked,
be there.
and
Kinda
then
just
now you're
locks.
just down to picking
One
one
person.
forward out of like 10
so
guys who are like so skilled, plus Clayton Keller if you want to put him in there.
We
So
do
tough.
want to move on from him.
McKinnon more points than McDavid this calendar year too. I know he's played less games, or McDavid's played less games, so
Yeah.
that's why. But hey, 19-game point streak.
Honest question: if like someone was just like, "Oh, you can have Connor McDavid for Nathan McKinnon,"
Oh man, that's so tough.
that is hard though. It is.
I feel like if you're Colorado, it's like why
Why
don't
would
don't
you, like, you
change
got a good
it.
thing
Yeah,
going.
you got.
Like
a
I
good
love Nate.
formula, yeah.
I'm taking Nate. Give me Nate. I'll keep him.
How many? What's the age difference?
A few years older.
Ah,
three,
Connor
maybe
McDavid.
three.
Then.
That definitely is a part of the argument. Okay, so who's in our last forward spot? I'll nominate Matthew Tkachuk.
I see why. Not just from him being good, but he's like gameplay wise, like wrecker.
I think he won a lot of the narrative in 2023 as well. Florida being the bottom seed and them going on that amazing run and him scoring all those overtime goals. One guy I'm going to throw in there, and I feel like it's not that we're
Clayton
sick
Keller's
of
not
him.
on the list.
I'm not
I
going to
don't
say
know
Clayton
what.
Keller.
Okay.
I think
Gonna go out to the desert.
Yeah. We're going.
No, other
your sand hats
coast,
on.
other side, also a warm climate. Nikita Kucherov, because I just think that he's like continuously racking up the points, and we don't always talk about him. And maybe it's not a ton of highlight reel moments, but he's just such a gifted player. And I think if you're talking about card as well that he'd have, like he'd be pretty nasty.
He would be nasty. This is very hard.
You get the deciding pick. We've each tossed out a nominee. You get the deciding pick.
I think we have enough hitting with McKinnon already. Just go ask Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, kind of good power forward.
We don't need Matthew in our area. We just want skill. We're gonna outskill you. I'm gonna go with your pick.
Nikita
We're
Kucherov.
gonna go with Kucherov
Welcome to the squad.
level that out.
Okay, welcome to the squad. I love
Because
it.
Skinner was nowhere to be found. All right, well that's our top line right there. How about defensemen? I mean, Mikhail Makar.
Yeah,
Kale
Kale's obviously.
Quinn Hughes. Cool. Next.
I had no problem with that.
No problem with that at all.
all.
The way Quinn Hughes has been playing this year, especially, absolutely.
There's other guys that make it a tough decision, but for me, Quinn Hughes has just been like so good this year. He's a captain now too. Get him in there.
Miro Heiskanen, make a massive case for. He's also would just
absolutely.
be fun to play with too.
He's so underrated. He's so good.
But like, you gotta go Quinn Hughes.
Gotta go Quinn Hughes.
Okay, this is a great team. If I had to play this team, I was like, cool. I'm getting like nothing but sweaty goals against me for the next 20 minutes of my life. I'm playing with music on.
Who's saving the goals now?
Yeah. How many goalies we picked? Just one?
Just one.
No backup?
No backup.
Not gonna get one of these.
No backup. Wow. He looked great though.
Still on the bench.
Sometimes they don't sit on the bench. Sometimes they.
I hate those
side.
rinks. Yeah.
Yeah, the arena where like they have
So
to sit beside
unfair,
the
yeah.
Zamboni door and they're just on a stool.
I feel so bad for those guys.
Because
Honestly.
you're
full
probably getting
equipment,
yelled
too.
at
Oh,
all
probably.
that like game from people too.
Yeah.
I just want to be with the guys. I feel like you miss out on moments with
Yeah.
the team.
To
you
be
know?
honest, I'm watching in the locker room. If they make me
Yeah,
sit
I'd rather
there,
watch on
like-
TV.
I would too.
Because you can't even really see anything. Like, this is like super first world problems, and you're going to tell me to shut the hell up after this? We went to a game, and we were at the glass, but it's in the corner.
Yeah.
Awesome experience when it's in your own zone. Rest of the game, you can't see a thing.
Oh no.
You're going like this the whole game. So the goalie has to do that. I'm watching the locker room.
I sat like on the glass behind the bench once. Worst experience of
You can't see
really-
anything.
You can't see anything.
The second someone, and what are you going to tell a player to sit down?
Yeah, exactly.
Down.
Getting ready to go on the ice, hop over the boards. Buddy, can you
But
just
buddy.
get down for a second here? I'm trying to watch the game.
This is tough. Because, like, talent alone, I feel like Shesterkin. You just want to go with, like, again, that's now becoming a nice legacy pick. Allmark or really Swayman deserves the nod, I think.
Yeah.
For just, like, how good the Bruins crease has been. So we were giving it to Jeremy Swayman.
Who's not even
Put him on the
nominated.
list.
So Connor Hallebuck deserves some consider. No, I agree. I think all the other goalies are pretty solid, but
Connor Hellebuck's been good this
Yeah.
year, but, like,
Yeah.
It's been great.
you know.
I would go with Hallmark, I think.
Allmark? All right, we'll go with him.
Begrudgingly.
Okay, well, then that brings us to the women's list here. You guys ready for the nominees?
Here we go.
Representing Finland, Petra Nieminen. Representing the USA, Hillary Knight. Also representing the USA, Taylor Heise. From Canada, Sarah Fillier. From Sweden, Hilda Svensson. Also from Sweden, Hannah Olsen. Lara Stadler from Switzerland, MPP, the legend. From Canada. From Finland, Vivi Venenka. From Canada, Sarah Nurse. Canada as well, Natalie Spooner. And the trio completed from Canada, Emily Clark. And from the USA, Abby Rock.
It's a good list.
It's a great list.
It's a really, really good list.
Is anyone, you think, Luca, that should be on that list that's missing? Give a nod to?
The one person I'd say her teammates on there, Stadler from Switzerland, but Alina Muller is really, really good. She had a great world championship for Switzerland, but Stadler was better, and I think Muller's unbelievable though, like so young still, like so much talent, playing in Boston in the PWHL with Hillary Knight and Jamie Lee Rattray from Canada. Like that team is looking solid going into that season, so I'd say maybe she probably should get nominated at the very least, but I understand why.
It's going to be very hard to not just go all Canada.
Yeah,
And
but
Canada, USA, to be honest, even in our lines here.
Like looking back at that tournament that happened in April, the Swedes had a ton of players that put up points, but they didn't make it very far, and they weren't doing it against the Canadas and the USAs of the tournament. So how much do you value those points
We value them very
Versus
highly. and
winning.
we will.
versus winning? I don't know. We'll see.
Fun to play with, though, you know?
Fun to play with.
That's the biggest metric of this. It's not always
That's
just
true.
the
That is true.
stats.
That's true. Okay.
Okay. Moving on to defense. Caroline Harvey from the USA. Jenny Hirakoski from Finland. Neeli Lehtinen from Finland. Sarah Kayanova from Czechia. Kayla Barnes from the USA. USA rounds us out with Megan Keller, not Clayton Keller. And Aaron Ambrose.
Another good list. I don't think there are any snubs on this. Maybe like you could shout out Renata Fast and Jocelyn Larocque from Canada, but
You just
that's
did.
That's
Shout
just
out.
patting our
That's
backs
just
because
like-
we're
that's-
Canadian.
that's
And
just being Canadian.
We want more Canadians on the list, but they're two great players as well.
Let's go to goalies. Aaron Frankel from the USA. No, who's winning this one? Annie Casala from Finland. And Anne Renee Desbiens from Canada. I know who we would like to pick, but I think we know who's winning that.
Okay, should we start with forwards then?
I'm into that. I think Z said it's tough to not go all Canadians, and I
Very.
think I would like to. But I mean Taylor Heise and Hillary Knight. I feel like it's hard to not have both of them in.
I agree with.
But I think there should still be one Canadian in there, and
And
whether
who
that's
is it then?
Sarah Fillier, because she's kind of had this breakout year, and you could also put Mary Philippe Poulin in there because
Legacy
she's the
pick.
GOAT. Yeah, another legacy pick, but also she's still
I was
playing
gonna
at a
say,
high
it's
level.
a
like-
legacy pick, but not really a legacy. pick.
Not
Yeah.
the same as the
Still
Ovi thing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
No,
she's
she's
firmly
still-
in this list.
Yeah, I think Hillary Knight's a lock for sure. Like when you score a hat trick in the gold medal game to win the World Championship on Canadian soil against your biggest rival. That automatically is a lock, but then like she had her 100th career point internationally and just did a bunch of amazing stuff this year, so she's a lock for sure. And then Heisey was College Player of the Year.
And first overall pick.
PWHL. Okay, so are we going Fillier or are we going MPP? I think you decide, because I'd argue MPP. You're going Fillier.
I think I'll go Fillier. I mean, I didn't even mention Sarah Nurse, who I also think deserves
Had
a
a great
shout,
tournament,
just because
yeah.
like she's also the future for Canada as well. But I'm gonna go Fillier.
It hurts because I want to go MPP. Met her a few times. We've like interviewed
Yeah,
her a bunch.
she's amazing.
She's awesome. But I feel like Fillier. You know, we're gonna the highlight on new talent.
Sarah Fillier. And she's going to be one of the top picks in the next PWHL draft as well.
Also good pick, Emily Clark. That was to be honest, that was the name I was going to.
Ooh, I
Wow.
like it.
Who
Emily
like
Clark's
that?
great.
Okay, defense. Where are we going here?
Caroline Harvey's a lock. Like an absolute lock. We skated with her at the Bauer event. She is just unbelievable. Like so good. Still in college, so not drafted yet. Scored a goal against Canada in that gold medal game. Was the top point leader in the tournament. So as a defenseman, like that's
Lock.
insane. Yeah, she's a lock.
All right, and the next pick then.
I think we'll keep the Canadian theme going.
He's
Not
going
to
He's
just be
going
biased, but I'm gonna go
Cam
here to Ambrose.
I mean,
Should we go Hirakowski? I mean, like, wouldn't be a
she's
wrong pick either. In fact,
outstanding
it'd be a
as
great
well.
pick.
Captain of Finland.
Way less of a homer pick. Also, still accurate. Maybe
Wow, so we're gonna
Hirakowski.
have one Canadian on the team.
Period. Yeah.
Tough pill to swallow, but
I don't like that, but Luca doesn't like our country.
Never said that.
I'm just kidding.
I think he's just less biased than
yeah,
the two
he's
of
just
us.
way grossly out of way, which is like that's how you're supposed to do it. Hirakowski. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's do it.
And again, as much as I would like to say Anne Renee Desbiens, we gotta go Frankel. I think.
Gotta go Frankel.
Yeah.
No, she's unbelievable. And like again, I think this award was kind of locked up with whoever would have won that Canada USA gold medal game. Probably are getting the team of the year in net for that. If
Yeah.
Desbiens stands on her head in that game, then she's getting team of the year. Frankel did though.
And that's it. All right, well, that's our list. You know, we're gonna have to wait a little bit to find out whether or not we are correct on our predictions. Even though predictions, probably more again, as we said, that was more like who we want on the list and who we'd want to play with. But the real list, January 5th for the men's, will be coming out then, and then January 12th for the women's. So Poc will have a long wait to see if somehow Clayton Keller has been just added to the list. Seriously.
Or Slavkovsky.
Guy was like, dream any team you want, buddy. And he was like, oh, Clayton Keller.
Yeah. 2024 Team of the Year.
Wow.
Early predictions.
Campaign is starting.
Keller, Slavkovsky, Kirby Doc. at
Great
center.
post-game interview.
Kirby Doc.
We're making a best post-game 5.
Slavkovsky.
Slavkovsky's starting list.
Slavkovsky.
Is he all
Kokanyemi.
5?
Kokanyemi's pretty good post game
Is
too.
he?
Another Habs
Oh my
legend.
gosh.
Yeah, funny guy.
We said this guy's not biased.
Cole Caulfield.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's all right. He's
Yeah,
he's
we
a
can
little
find better.
robotic.
We can
He's
find
a little
better, yeah.
robotic. We can find better.
He's American.
Wow.
Yeah, just like our team of the year.